This is Group 8. Annabelle Frere is our theorist, Wenji Zhang is our econometrician, and I, Greg Manicherry, am our presenter. Today we're going to be talking about team spending, scoring points, and the world of Formula One. Welcome to our presentation. Formula One is widely regarded as the highest level of motorsport in the world. This, of course, attracts the attention of sponsors looking to advertise on the cars. Over the last 2 decades or so, only a few teams have consistently outperformed the rest. The apparent decrease in competition causes us to ask if it's a question of money. Does more spending mean scoring more points in Formula One? After F1 became televised in 1978, its fan base grew immensely. The danger and sometimes multiple driver deaths in a single year drew large viewership numbers and also grew the advertising potential of the sport. The sponsors, ironically tobacco and alcohol brands, came pouring in to advertise on the cars. Including the sponsorship money, the already rich and high-performing teams' budgets dwarfed and still dwarf the smaller teams' budgets. Furthermore, as the costs of inputs rise over time, the large budget teams are more prepared to score points in a season, due to their budgets affording them the luxuries of renting out tracks for tire cooling testing, more wind tunnel testing for aerodynamic efficiency, better engineers, support staff, and better materials than the smaller budget teams. Since winning means receiving prize money, there is a positive feedback loop that ensures large budget teams keep winning. Formula One management gives out money at the end of the season to the teams based on performance, history with Formula One, and other factors to help foot the bill for the following season. Intellectual property is a factor at the beginning of the season, as teams are constantly looking to steal effective ideas and designs. However, a few weeks into the season, the intellectual property has usually been reverse engineered. Here's the logic of positive feedback loops expressed visually. Large companies that enter Formula One buy the best people, materials, and resources, creating a successful team. By winning, they're awarded money, and they increase the demand for the sponsorships on their cars, allowing sponsors to outbid themselves over advertising space. This extra money gets reinvested into making another winning team the following year, and this goes on year after year. The question we are seeking to answer with our research is, does having a larger budget mean scoring more points in Formula One? Our null hypothesis is that there is no positive correlation between the budget amount and points scored. And our alternative hypothesis is that there is a positive correlation between the budget amount and points scored. Here's what some of the literature says. Gutierrez and Lozano used data envelopment analysis to compare team efficiency and suggest that decreasing all the team budgets will actually increase the efficiency of the teams. Judd, Booth, and Brooks look at the effects of uncertainty in race outcomes and their effects on demand. They also mention how regulation and rule changes are to keep TV audiences interested and to increase sponsor exposure. Wern discusses prize money distributions by Formula One management and the correlation between these payments and the following year performances. Wern also discusses the risk of positive feedback loops. To analyze our data, we used a simple regression to understand the relationship between budget and points. This relationship also shows us how efficient each team is being with their budgets. Note, this research aims to set a base for broader economic research to be conducted in the realm of Formula One. Other topics like budget caps, competitive balance, and marginal returns on sponsor investment can be investigated. Here are the tables of data used in our research. They show the teams who published their budgets and the points they scored with those respective budgets from the 2002 season through the 2006 season. For every year, the team with the largest budget scored the most points, except for 2005, where McLaren managed to outperform Ferrari with a slightly lower budget, suggesting they were more efficient with their money. Not every team participating in Formula One is listed, as many teams are restricted by tax laws in their home countries on budget reporting. By plotting these data points with the points scored on the y-axis and the corresponding seasonal budgets on the x-axis, we can use a linear regression to analyze the relationship between the two. As we look at the points plotted in Figure 1, we can see an obvious positive trend. Of the teams that did publish their budgets, there is a clear gap between 200 million and 350 million, probably indicating that there's a no man's land for the budgets. The marginal rate of return for the sponsors' advertisements likely doesn't make sense there. Unless the sponsors of a car collectively bring the budget to 350 million, it probably won't have the rate of return that they would like over keeping the team budget around 200 million. Expanding the graph to see the regression line more clearly, we confirm our positive trend assumption. Note, in 2009, outside of this graph, a team called Braun GP took the championship from McLaren with their measly $162 million budget versus McLaren's $483 million budget, showing the need for more questioning of team efficiency. The equation of our regression line is shown. Given the positive slope of our line, we reject the null hypothesis and accept our alternative hypothesis. However, we can see other implications from this equation and the graph's points. As stated, there are two clear groups of points, again hinting at marginal rate of return issues in Formula One for the sponsors. The cost barrier is also very high to enter Formula One, considering that other sports like baseball have over 150 games per season, or basketball with 72. Formula One has a very high cost to participate in around just 20 races per season. Through our calculations, it would take an average of $81.3 million for a team to score just 1 point, given equal efficiency across the field. It's important to note that team efficiency matters, as some teams were able to score more points than others with similar budgets in the same season. Prize money distributions can help balance out the playing field, inciting more competition between the teams to keep ratings high and sponsors interested. Even in today's field, these same problems occur. Here's a list of our references. Thank you for listening to our presentation.